All right. I don't know how many of you are watching my reading of E Squared by Pam Grout, but I'm enjoying the book. I believe in it. I agree with Pam's basic premise that God or spirit there is this infinite spirit that Einstein spoke of, that is all present everywhere, is contained within every one of us, and that we have access to it. I've had enough things happen in my life to fully believe that, and yet I've also made a lot of mistakes and had a lot of bad things happen to me, and have been searching for meaning and purpose like everyone else does, and wondering why life is the way it is, and there's something wrong with the way it is. Now, I was just watching Leo Tolstoy. I've posted about this before. Leo Tolstoy was one of the most famous writers of all time. He wrote War and Peace. He was incredibly wealthy. He had 13 children with his wife, was living a lavish life, and he was miserable. He knew there was something more. There was just some guy, the guy that was the director for Dumb and Dumber, I think is what it was. He did a couple movies with Jim Carrey as a director. He ended up with a net worth of over $100 million. I forget his name. Got long hair. And he had an existential crisis just like Tolstoy. It was like he wasn't happy. He had all of this stuff. He had all of this wealth, and he went out and splurged and filled his house with all this stuff, and he was not happy. It wasn't doing what he was told it would do. Once you're wealthy, man, he felt empty. And he started looking around. He went on a spiritual journey, just like Tolstoy. Tolstoy found meaning in living a simple life. He saw the peasants who were struggling with life, who were suffering, but their faith kept them going. And they'd go to church every Sunday, and pray to God. And their faith was their strength, but because they didn't have anything. They were poor. But Tolstoy saw in them this happiness that he wanted. And that was his final conclusion, because he was like, what is the point of all of this if it's all just going to end? These are the things that he contemplated, like everybody does. Okay? So here's Pam Grout saying, hey, guess what? There is this infinite spirit that we call God, that she called the field of potentiality, the FP. And that you can contact it, and it will give you things. You have access to this thing. Neville Goddard said it. Hold on one second. Neville Goddard said, man's chief delusion is his conviction that there are causes other than his own state of consciousness, so that we're the cause of our reality. Okay. Einstein, everyone who is seriously involved in the pursuit of science becomes convinced that a spirit is manifest in the laws of the universe, a spirit vastly superior to that of man. And Pam Grout is telling you that here are 9 experiments you can do that will prove that this spirit is real. And you have access to it. Well, that's fantastic. I want access to it 24/7. I'm guessing you do too. Boy, oh boy, hey, God, I'm sick. I'd really like to be made well. No problem. And you wake up tomorrow and you're well. I mean, anything. This is an infinite power here. So I'm watching the Tolstoy thing, and his conclusions, I think he gave up his wealth, but his wife did not want him giving up that wealth. She did not want to give up that life. I don't know how that worked out with him and his wife. But then I'm watching Eckhart Tolle. And I'm listening to Tolle, and I'm saying to myself, hold on a second now. Because Tolle's saying, you think, life is hard and you don't understand. You are life, and you think you've got problems and it's all in your mind and all this stuff. And I'm like, you're rich, aren't you? So I looked up his net worth. Do you know how wealthy Eckhart Tolle is? According to Eckhart Tolle, all of our problems are just in our head, and that we don't understand, and blah, blah, blah. And life is just a wonderful, beautiful thing. Do you know how wealthy Eckhart Tolle is? Try over $50 million. I don't know how Eckhart Tolle can have a net worth of $50 million of over that, sit in a chair and tell people that they don't understand. This man doesn't have a care in the world. This man isn't concerned about anything because he has no problems, because he's super wealthy. Let me see Eckhart Tolle do that if he was making $50,000 a year doing that for a living. Then let me see him come out and do that. I find it hilarious how many people think Eckhart Tolle is like this amazing spiritual teacher. Like, if you looked up his wealth, do you know how he lives? You can look it up on Google. I just saw how he lives his life. It's ridiculous. It looks like pure hypocrisy to me, yet I like listening to Eckhart Tolle. He is really good at teaching what he teaches. But I'm really drawn to this. I don't know about you, but this resonates with me. Now, the first experiment has given me interesting things that make me go, okay, I kind of accept these things that have happened as actual blessings. I see blessings in the simplicity of life, in the simple things of life. And I get why Tolstoy saw something magical in those poor peasants who went to church every Sunday but had nothing. And I contend, and I would have said it to Tolstoy, if you could give all of those people 10 times the amount of money that they were earning, their life would have gotten way better. And they would have still been happy, and I bet they still would have gone to church. Maybe they wouldn't have, but I think they would have. I think they could have continued to have their faith in God and would have seen this increase in their wealth as a blessing from God. I could be wrong about that. I'm just guessing. I know what I would do if somebody gave me $50 million. I don't know about you. I know exactly what I'd do. I know exactly how I'd live. Now, would I have no problems? Would I can't say for absolute certainty. But my life would be way better than it is. And for Eckhart Tolle to tell a bunch of people, many of whom are just getting by, the things that he says when he's living on cloud nine without a care in the world, with total financial freedom, which proves what I'm saying. That proves my point. What humans need, it's not wealth per se. Tolstoy had all the wealth. He wasn't happy. The guy who directed Dumb and Dumber and whatever other movies he made, and when he made hundreds of millions of dollars, still wasn't happy. Right. But that guy that I just mentioned, I forget his name, he gave away a lot of that wealth. And he found joy. And I remember listening to him, he goes, I didn't give it all away. He says, I still have plenty. And I'm like, yeah. Of course he gave away wealth because he found that in giving to people who had less, that felt good in and of itself to help others. And so I contend that the solution to life that we were hopefully going to evolve into one day is that all the rich people in the world are going to wake up and go, this isn't satisfying. I'm still empty inside. And when I help someone, I feel good. All you got to do is go help someone who's less off than you, who's not doing as well as you. There's this lady I see at the grocery store begging. She's just sitting there. And I would occasionally give her a couple dollars. And I've done it a few times because she's been there, and she'll look at me, because I always say hi, and I always try to put my hand on her shoulder and say, I hope things get better for you. Because I can't give her $100. I can't give her $1,000. But I can give her $2, $3, $4, something like that. And I just say to her, I just say hi, and I say, I hope you feel better. And she always looks up at me, and she would smile when she recognized me. Well, now when she sees me, she's really happy to see me. She knows I'm going to give her a couple of dollars. And I don't see her every day. I only see her, a couple, once a week on average. And I want to get to know this woman. But I don't want to, because I don't know anything about her, and I can't, part of me thinks like, man, why don't you offer to have her come over and make her some food? I can't do that. Because, I don't know. And not only that, she shouldn't trust me. She doesn't know who I am. I wouldn't trust me if I were her. But I can't take that chance either, but I really wish I could. Because here's this woman, and I don't know where she sleeps, and she has clothes. She doesn't look like she's haggard. She looks okay. So she must have something. It's got to, or she'd look horrible. I've seen the homeless who look horrible, and it's really sad. And it boggles my mind that rich people don't want to help these people. Do you know Jeff Bezos got divorced? He just got remarried now. He put up the crazy wedding thing that he did. I think the man is insane. But his wife, who divorced him, got half his wealth. Do you know what she's doing with his wealth? With all that wealth? She has it's like $70 billion. That's her net worth. She's giving away billions of dollars. Now, I don't know who she's giving it to. I'm guessing she's giving it to charities. I can only hope that she's giving it to charities that are good. And I really don't know. But why aren't all rich people doing what Jeff Bezos' ex-wife is doing? Why isn't that your desire to do that? Why wouldn't you want to? I mean, how can you live with $70 billion while there are millions and millions of homeless people in this country? And so she's giving away, I don't know how many, but she's giving away billions. And I don't know the details. I wish I knew her. But I look at this little monkey-looking man, Eckhart Tolle, sitting there in his clothing and just as happy as can be. And I'm like, oh, of course you're happy as can be. Because he made millions and millions of dollars, and now he's free to do what he wants, so he does. He speaks to people. That's his life. People pay to come listen to him. And he loves doing this. I might enjoy doing that too. I enjoy making YouTube videos. I enjoy sitting here talking to people, telling you what I think, telling you how I feel, telling you what I think we should do, why aren't we doing this? Why isn't our number one objective, why isn't the world's number one objective to try to create paradise on earth? Why isn't that our number one objective? Doesn't that just make the most logical sense? Like, hey, we can do anything we want. What should we do? Oh, I don't know. How about we try to transform the world into paradise so that everyone lives in paradise? Nah, we shouldn't. Why should we do that? Who cares? Yeah, because then there'd be no suffering, no wars, no poverty. What about all the violent people? What would you do with them? You put them in prison because they're violent. But since this is paradise, our prison, this is really hard. It was really hard to figure out. It took me years to figure this out. Yeah, it took me about 15 minutes. are rehabilitation centers with the goal of getting that person to become nonviolent. But as long as they're violent, they're going to stay in prison, but they're going to be well cared for. They're going to have all their rights. They're going to have a nice place to live, but they're locked up. Oh, but it's nice. You'll be nice. They'll have a clean place to live. Oh no, prison has to be horrible. Why? Check out how Norway runs their prisons. Guess what? It's working. Look it up. Take your time. Oh, what about all the crazy people? Okay, so you're going to put all the violent people, you're going to put them in prison, okay, but you're going to try to rehabilitate them and you're going to take really good care of them. Right. Well, what about all the crazy people? You can't figure out what we should do with all the crazy people? Take care of them. Provide for them. It's not hard. We used to do this regularly, not very well. We had insane asylums. And it wasn't all that well, but at least they were taken care of. Not as well as they should have been. We could do way better. So now, okay, so all the violent people, they're in prison, they're being well cared for. All the crazy people, they're in insane asylums, call them whatever you want to call them. They're all being well taken care of. Just like Dustin Hoffman's portrayal of Rain Man. He was well taken care of. He cannot live on his own. He cannot function. And he had everything he needs. So now we've got all those people. Who else? What else do we need to address? Poverty. There is no poverty. We've ended poverty. This is paradise. Oh, but come on, there's going to be violence. Fights are going to break out. Yeah, fights will break out. Accidents will happen. Tempers will flare. Sure. So you have to deal with all of that. So you still have law enforcement. What else? Oh, this is so hard to do. You could never create paradise. They tried it. Don't you know they tried it in China? And it failed. Yeah, of course it failed because the guy wanted to rule. Just put me in charge. I'll fix it. I don't know what happened with the guy in China. Somebody just told me, they said, that it ended in lots of death. I said, I'm sure it did. Because China's ways are authoritarian. And that's where the world is going right now, which is insane. What Trump is doing right now is insane. And no one's stopping him. How is the ACLU not stopping him? How come the law isn't arresting ICE agents? They're committing crimes. Why aren't they being arrested? Why is our government giving Trump all this power? Why are they allowing this? Why did the Supreme Court agree? Yeah, he should have immunity. What's going on? Why is this happening in this world? We can't figure out what we should do, how we should live. Once again, I'm going to say it. Look up Buckminster Fuller's quotes. Read what he said. If Neville Goddard is right, and I think he is, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to read it again. I don't care. I don't understand why we continue to be like this. I don't get it. No, I can't find it. Man's chief delusion is his conviction that there are causes other than his own state of consciousness. So we're the cause of all the problems in the world, of all the good in the world. Then we are also the answer, and we are the solution to everything that's wrong in this world. We have it within us to fix this. But then this guy, Charles Proteus, said, someday people will learn that material things do not bring happiness. Really? Have you seen how Eckhart Tolle lives his life? Eckhart Tolle is happy Because he's wealthy and he's content. He is not pursuing, I need more wealth, I've got to get more wealth. He is content. The reason the peasants that Tolstoy saw were happy was because they weren't trying to get more. They were content with what they had. Content. If you need more, why do you need more? What do we need? What does everyone need? It's so easy to figure this out. What does every human being need? High quality, first of all, food. We all want and need to be able to eat good, healthy food. There's a concept. Oh, wow. Boy, you're really intelligent. Yeah, I know. I'm so intelligent. I figured out that all human beings should be given good quality food to eat on a regular basis. Healthy food. So there's one. How about we all get to wear nice clothes? Not ridiculous what the wealthy do. Indulge themselves in ridiculous outfits and look at this. What the hell? No, contentment means I get to wear really nice stuff. This is fine. This is just a t-shirt. Who cares? I'm wearing jeans. It's fine. I can wear nice clothes. I don't need super wealthy clothes. If I had $50 million, I'm going to go out and spend money on all kinds of, I'm going to buy nice clothes. But I'm not going to go out and go lunatic with, I need more, no, that's never going to make you happy. Desiring more, craving more, constantly going out and buying more. We already know that doesn't work. We've seen evidence over and over and over. Tolstoy wasn't happy. The guy who did Dumb and Dumber, he wasn't happy. Over $100 million net worth, and he wasn't happy. So we know that's not what brings happiness. What brings happiness? Being able to eat good, healthy food, being able to wear really nice clothes, you can afford it. There's no, what am I going to do? What if I can't make it? No. Being able to have real nice shelter. I don't care if it's a nice apartment or a nice townhome or a condominium or a house. Nobody needs the house that Tom Hanks or Oprah live in. Nobody needs that. They want it because they're trying to satisfy their craving. And the wealthy who pursue wealth will never be satisfied with what they have, and they're always wanting more, and that's a sickness. So food, clothing, shelter. Guess what else we need? Because we're going to create paradise, right? How are we going to create paradise? By giving everyone free access to all the education they want. It's already on Google. Everything you want to know is on Google. Ask any question. It's all there. Google is God. Google will teach you anything you want to know about. I just looked up how much wealth Eckhart Tolle has and the kind of life that he lives. And I was like, look, I couldn't believe what I read. Well, I knew he was wealthy. And lastly, it's so obvious the solution to our problems. Healthcare. Oh no, we can't afford it, say all the dumb Republican, brainwashed, moronic Republican idiots. And some on the left say it too. And there's lots of crazy, stupid people on the left. If you think I'm only going to go after the right, you're wrong. Hell, I've been a crazy, stupid person many times in my life. So I'll put myself right over there with all the idiots. If everybody had access to high quality food, clothing, shelter, education, and healthcare, there's your paradise. It's done. It's done. That's it. That's all we need to do. Now that's a lot, and that will take a lot of work and a commitment from the whole world, and it's never going to happen. Not in my lifetime. I'll be shocked if it ever happened in my lifetime, but I hope it will happen one day, maybe in 1,000 years. I hope it would happen sooner, but why can't people see that this is the solution? Tolle is not pursuing, as far as I know, He's not trying to figure out how can I get more wealth, because he already has more than he'll ever need. If you have all that you need for the rest of your life and you don't need any more, would you be willing to help people in your community? In exchange for helping and serving in your community, we're going to guarantee you those 5 things in high quality. Guaranteed for the rest of your life. Will you then help in the community, working with your fellow human beings, black people and white people, gay people and straight people, men and women, transgender people, non-binary, all the different types of people, Muslims, Hindus, Jews, Christians, atheists, agnostic, doesn't matter what you are, what you believe in. We all just say, hey, everybody's entitled to believe what they want and live how you want to live. You can't hurt other people, right? You got to be kind to other people. It's so hard to figure this out. How should we live life? And what would make everybody happy? Well, it won't make everybody happy, because some people will never be happy. They'll always want more, and they'll never be content with what they have. And that confuses me more than poor people who do find contentment. I'm amazed when a poor person is happy and content with what they have. But I'm guessing they have enough. I'm guessing they can eat. They've got some clothes on. They've got a roof over their head. They may not have much education. I don't know what they're going to do if they get sick. But if we all had those 5 things guaranteed in high quality, and we just made a decision, let's just create this world, I'm not saying there wouldn't be problems. I'm not saying it wouldn't be paradise right away. It would take probably years. But this is the solution. And if this is true, which I say it is true, then we have within us the ability to create this life for everyone, not perfectly. All of the violent people have to be locked up. All of the crazy people have to be cared for in a facility where they will be cared for. You can't let any of those people be out in public. You can't. That's it. Are there any other kind of people we can't let out in public? Can we all agree to let people live regardless of their beliefs, religious beliefs, sexual orientation, regardless of these things? I'm not saying there won't be problems. Of course there'll be problems. Of course there's going to always be problems. But isn't this the obvious solution to most of our problems? There, I'll say most. The solution to most of our problems is to guarantee to all people, everyone on the planet, high quality food, clothing, shelter, education, and healthcare. Give me something that's better than that. Tell me a better solution than that. Tell me one. I want to hear what is a better solution than that. That's, to me, the best solution there is. If I had $50 million in the bank, why would I would be content. I'll be content with 5. I don't know what number you need. I'd be content with $5 million in the bank. It's enough to live for the rest of my life. I'm set. I don't have to worry anymore. So would I be willing to volunteer in my community? Why wouldn't I? It feels good to help others. It feels good to volunteer, to do good. So one thing I really, really liked about the church I used to go to, Willow Creek in South Barrington, a bunch of, evangelical, mostly right-wing Christians. But the pastor there at the time, Bill Hybels, built that church on volunteer stuff, on volunteering. He had lots of people there volunteered in the church. And the hilarious thing about that church is they sold books in the bookstore at full retail price. Everyone there was a volunteer, except maybe like 1 or 2 people who were in charge. They have no rent. Think about this, okay? They have a cafeteria. Everybody's buying food in the church. Full retail price. No rent. You could get a latte there. They had little mini things inside the church. My wife would get her $5 latte when we'd go there. And I go, you're paying full retail and this is a church that has no rent. Why are they charging so much? And she goes, I don't care. Who cares? And I said, I find it odd. There's no rent. They have no cost. They pay no taxes, and their books are full retail. The food is full retail. The lattes are full retail. This church is bringing in so much money, and all the people who work there are volunteers. Willow Creek was raking in so much money that it was the place to work. This was the job to have, and people were chomping at the bit to get there. But you know what happened? Nobody could stand working with Bill Hybels, and it was a revolving door. Look that up if you want to. People couldn't stand working with him because he couldn't stand tardiness. He was just one of these control freaks. And that's the problem with human nature. We want to control. We do. We all do. I'd love to be able to control somebody for a day. Are you kidding? You think I wouldn't be tempted? We want, it's like in our nature. If only I could make people do what I want. And that's why people do that. They control people. You could argue it's sick. I argue that it could be sick, but it could be a very productive thing. If only we could all come together and submit to each other. I'm sounding like I'm getting sexual here. That's not what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to say that we could submit to each other like Bill Hybels did with volunteers, people volunteering. They weren't doing it for anything other than they wanted to help. They wanted to be a part of a system that was helping. But underneath it all, the church was raking in millions and millions and millions of dollars. And I have no idea what the state of that church is anymore. I went there one time with my last girlfriend to show her the crazy church, and it was not half as good as it used to be. Boy, when they lost Bill Hybels, they lost a lot. But he got caught with some woman, and I don't know the details. And I have no clue what he's doing now. But how is this not the obvious solution? What Tolstoy found, the solution, was to be content and happy with what you have. But we should all have nice things. Material things do give you happiness. Material things are a blessing in your life. The electric light bulb changed the world. Radio, and then television, and then computers. But with all of this technology comes more evil, more bad things. The world is worse. With all of this stuff, instead of building paradise, we're destroying ourselves. Because people in power, I'm choking on that stuff, want more power. And people with wealth want more wealth. So the solution to that is to stop pursuing once you have all that you need. But how do we do that? How do you get people to stop pursuing more wealth, more power? I don't want more wealth and more power. I just want you to obey me and do what I tell you. I'm trying to keep a straight face while I said that. Part of me does want that. Part of you wants that too. At least like in a experiment, like for one day. You do. You want it. You want power. I want power. I'd love to be king of America. Oh my God. That would be fun. Of course, I'd need an invulnerable shield around my body so nobody can kill me. Oh, the fun I would have if only I had power like some highly advanced alien race that comes here and just takes over. If only they were benevolent. If they were benevolent beings, that would be great. But if they're not, it would be like Independence Day, if you've seen the movie. Then it would be horrible. We're going to kill a bunch of you, make a bunch of you our slaves, and we're going to take over the world and rule in a horrible way, which is what the super wealthy people are trying to do right now. Do you know that the plan is to get the population down to under 500 million? Do you know that? It used to be on this thing called the Georgia Stones. I don't know if you know what the Georgia Stones are. They were in Georgia. They were big, big stones. And on the stones, it was carved everything they wanted. And one of the things was to maintain a world population of under 500 million people. That's over 90% of the people wiped out. Now, those Georgia Stones, somebody blew them up. It's on YouTube. You can watch them blow them up. So they're all destroyed now. It doesn't matter. You can look at everything that was on the Georgia Stones. Who wants this? The powerful elite of the world who are wanting world domination, world control. These are evil people, and they are now running America, and who knows what other countries they're running. And we're all going to hell unless this is stopped. Fortunately, though, we have this. We have this power inside of us that can solve all of our problems. Will we do it? Will we rise up out of this? I don't even know how to describe what is happening right now. Will we rise up out of this horrible mess that we've created and are creating in this world and fix this world and stop blaming each other and realize that this is all about the powerful who are greedy, evil bastards? There's a lot of good, wealthy people who are powerful, who are trying to do good. I read somewhere that there are aliens here, and half of them are good and half of them are bad, and the bad ones are winning right now. Who knows if any of that's true? I don't know if any of that's true. Makes sense to me, though. Like I said, if they're here, they're probably at the bottom of the ocean, if they're hiding. If they're a highly advanced race of alien beings, like way better, way more advanced than us, the place where you'd never find them would be the bottom of the ocean. We'd never find them there. Never. Because we can't even go to those places, I'm told. We have no access. The Titanic is only down a little ways. However it is, like 5 miles at the bottom of the ocean. There's way deeper parts of the ocean that we have no access to. So I'm told. Maybe the benevolent aliens will win, and they'll build paradise, because that's what benevolent aliens would do. If I had the power to build paradise here, I'd do it, and most of you would too. Most of you would say, yeah, let's make paradise for everybody. Most people agree with that. Most people don't want other humans to suffer. Most people want to help. Most people want to make life better for everyone. Most people agree with me. Most. Because you want a good life. You want a life where you have those 5 things guaranteed to you. You want comfort. You want challenges in life. You're not against struggling and, things like that, but you want a good life. And therefore, you don't want anyone to suffer needlessly. We all agree on this. Liberals and conservatives all agree on this. Therefore, that's the solution, is to create that reality. And Buckminster Fuller pointed this out, that we have this ability now. We can do this now. Pam Grout is telling us we can do this now. Neville Goddard said we can do it now. Albert Einstein said it. So how do we do it? How do we make it happen? I don't have a clue how we make it happen. All I know is a lot of rich people are only pursuing more. They're not doing what Tolstoy did, or what the guy did who made the movie Dumb and Dumber. They're not doing what good people are doing and saying, hey, I am not satisfied with all this wealth. This didn't make me happy. This didn't give me what I thought it would give me. I'm still restless inside. There's something missing. Most people recognize that. And the solution is to give everybody enough. That's the obvious solution. Create a world where we all have enough, which means nice things, a good life, healthy, happy. It's so obvious what the solution is, yet how do we make it happen? I have no clue. I wish I could do it. All I can do is share my ideas, and I'm sure that's what lots of people are doing. Like Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, I'm sure she's talking. The guy who, I wish I just remembered I should have looked up his name. The guy who did the movie Dumb and Dumber. He talks to people. He was on Bill Maher. He was on lots of different places when he first went through this whole thing that he went through. He did the rounds. This was years ago when he was on. And I don't know what he's doing today. No clue. I hope that the current people in power in this country are fall on their face. Let's say it like that. I hope they fall on their face and crash and burn. Because if they don't, I don't even want to think where this country is going to be in like 5 years or less. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.